Emerging
Copy,
from
you and Victor's 1, watching from the nose cone.
Stars blinking out of sight. First steps in space we say, but feels like a charade. Lights and wires everywhere, on a stage beyond compare. Gravity a distant thought, was this moment store-bought? Is this real or fantasy? Walking in a galaxy, lost in cosmic reverie. Dreams turn into parody. Footprints on the moon's face, questions we can't erase. Cameras at every turn, truths that we patiently spurn. Silent void, a grand display, lines that blur and lead astray. In a vacuum, tales are spun underneath an artist's sun. Is this real or fantasy? Walking in a galaxy, lost in cosmic reverie. Dreams turn into parody. Is this real or fantasy? Walking in a galaxy, lost in cosmic reverie. Dreams turned into parody. Dreams turned into parody.
Good evening, one and all. Right, we're going to have a look at these drones tonight, and look, guys, I'll be honest, right? I'll be blunt and completely honest. This is not aliens. In fact, 90% of these drones aren't even drones; they're planes. But apart from that, I think there has been some activity, but I don't think it's terribly nefarious. I think it's all done in concert with the government. And if the government are telling you they don't know anything about it, I think they're lying. It's quite straightforward. Both here and in the US, I would say. Because you don't let a foreign power indiscriminately fly drones over your country, regardless. Not for 2 weeks at a time. It just doesn't happen. So the only people that are doing this are people that are involved with either the military or one of the three-letter agencies in the US. And they're doing it deliberately. And, you know, for what reason? A trial to wind you up, keep you on your toes, get you ready for sending more money to foreign countries to kill foreigners. You know, it's not aliens. It's not. And the portals, the orbs, forget it. It's people with stupid cameras going out, putting point light sources out of focus and going, oh, look at that. It's an orb. Bullshit. It's just bullshit. There's no other way to describe it. You know, I mean, we could dance around the subject all night, but it's bullshit. There's no orbs out there. There's no portals. There's no alien spaceships. It's everything. All the activity you're seeing out there is human, or it's far out in space, and it's satellites and planets and stars, and it's people being really bloody stupid. That's what it is. And you only have to look at the Twitter feed and, you know, all the videos coming in from New Jersey, and these people are dense. I mean, it's everywhere to have a laugh and a LARP. And, you know, a lot of the people that are posting this stuff are having a laugh and a LARP because they know that it's bullshit. Like Elizondo, he knows it's all bullshit. He's just a grifter. They all are. I mean, I don't think there's a genuine one in there now. I really don't. After digging into them for so long, they're all grifting. They're all at it. They're all just trying to make money. That guy Corbell, pathetic. Fox makes movies that say nothing. I mean, yeah, I make movies, and if I don't come to a conclusion, it's because there's no evidence to come to a conclusion. But he just makes shit up and makes a movie on shit that he's made up. And there's nothing there. He doesn't even give you an indication of what he thinks, you know? But there's nothing there. I mean, if you look at the last one I did, the aerial school one, the conclusion is I'm pretty sure the kids saw something. But I have no idea where it was. But I think they saw something. And that doesn't mean you can't discount some strange thing from wherever, right? But I think you can pretty much discount what's going on over New Jersey just now and what went over Lakenheath and Mildenhall. Because it's exactly the same thing. People get into their mindset and everything. You know, if you're an accountant, right, and you're given a bunch of receipts, everything becomes a receipt. You know, that's your raison d'etre. You know, if you're a hunter and you're out with your rifle, everything becomes a target. And these people have got to the point that if you see a light in the sky, it's a drone. And it's a foreign drone because the government haven't helped the situation, have they? Let's be honest. You know, they've stood up there and go, they're not ours, but we don't think there's any, we don't think it's a foreign power. So that means you know whose it is. And that doesn't mean it's aliens because nobody ever said that. And that's what all these clowns on Twitter are now saying. It's aliens. It's aliens. The government said it's aliens. No, they didn't. They didn't say anything of the sort. They said, well, the Pentagon spokesgirl said, they're not the DOD and we don't think they're a foreign power. That's a bloody big leap to go to. It's aliens, you know? A massive leap, I would say. But what's going on? Who's doing it then? Well, I think it's quite straightforward. I think it's a contractor of some kind or another that's doing it, that's flying these drones. And they're probably doing it for the DOD or a 3-letter agency or whatever you want to call them. You know, it could be a 3-letter agency here that they did it for. It could be a 3-letter agency in the States that they're doing it for. But I think it's a contractor, and I think the contractor might have started with this UK company called Overwatch Group, which is a bit of a weird one because they just kind of spring into life around about 2018, and they seem to be some kind of defence contractor, but they've got a strategic partnership with an American drone manufacturer, which is quite interesting, and I'll show you that. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the crap we've had on Twitter. Shall we? Shall we start there? Where am I going? Right. What are we looking at? Let's look at this. Right, can you see this, guys? Let me see. Yes, you can see the Pentagon girl, right? So that's the Pentagon girl, and the community note's right on this occasion. It says, nowhere in the video did the spokesperson say the drones are not human. The poster is assuming this based on the spokesperson saying they are not specifically US military drones and have no evidence that they are from adversaries. It's a big leap to go to, they're aliens, isn't it? They're not aliens. Spoiler. If you came here looking for aliens, you're not going to get them tonight because there are no aliens here. Not in this situation. Let's have a scan through some of the stuff. Drone stroke aircraft coming into land or whatever. I mean, people are just nuts. Absolutely nuts. That is a drone. And we'll go into that in more depth. Right? It's not a radiation hunting drone. I don't think anyone's put a dirty bomb on in New Jersey. I really don't. It's like remember the ship that hit the bridge? You know, that was a whole thing to bring down all the ports in America so the economy would crash. That didn't work, did it? Wasn't a lot of other ships crashed after that. They tried to make it seem as if there were, but there weren't. I don't know why I put this in. Well, this is a kind of rabbit hole thing. So this guy's going on about the Vatican open portals at Christmas. That'll be interesting. So we'll maybe have a look at that. I'll have a look at that with Ed. Volunteer patrol unit to track down drone site. These people have lost it. They have lost it. And the thing is, the mainstream media are just taking advantage of it. You know, they're just going to run with this because it's a slow news week. Gives them plenty to do. Is that ABC as well? Oh, yeah, ABC. They film a star and go, oh, look, it looks like it's nothing I've ever seen before. For fuck's sake, people. I mean, you take a photograph of a star, that's what they look like. Because they're so far away, they're not in focus. You're shooting them through the atmosphere of the Earth, which is giving it all that... Forget, I mean, Jesus Christ. It's quite pathetic when you think about it, you know? It really is. Oh, it looks like it's underwater. Well, you're shooting through a substantial amount of atmosphere, plus a lot of space, which is, despite what you think, not empty. It's full of crap, dust in particular, particles. These clowns, you know, it's not happening without the government's knowledge. The government are playing dumb. Because you know what? They don't want to tell the public you're wrong, right? Because when you tell the public you're wrong, the public don't like you. And the government don't want to be not liked. And I know the Biden government's going out, but they expect to be back in 4 years. So they still want to be liked, you know, so they don't want to tell the people that they're wrong. So that's what it's all based on. It's flat Earth. Flat Earth's dead. Good grief. It's the Goodyear blimp. I mean, everybody in America should know what the Goodyear blimp looks like. Oh, good grief. Flat Earth again. 2 fighting rabbits. Cryptid Dogman. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Imagine meeting that on a dark night. Russian guy builds his own helicopter from a washing machine, probably. Arguing with idiots. Oh, good. What's in the... Why have I got all this crap in my bookmarks? What we got here? FBI. Have you seen the people? Well, I don't know if they're real or not. The one I saw, I think, was fake, about people shooting at planes. Don't do it. Don't shoot at airplanes. Somebody's going to get hurt. That's good. That's a drone. That's a Chinese drone. That's a good one. There was a whole video of people filming drones. Oh, here we go. What's this? Oh, this is an orb, is it? It's a point source of light that's out of focus. It's sad. It's really sad. They have lost it, the espresso mechanic, you're right. They have lost it. we've now got people saying we're going to put a helicopter up towing a large hoop from a cable because we're doing some ground survey stuff. It's not a UFO. Yeah. Portal opens and spaceship stroke alien spaceship goes through it. Sad, isn't it? So anyway, as Community Note says, videos from 2017 confirmed as a hoax. It wasn't a drone, that was a Chinese drone. I saw the guy launch it. He was a Chinese guy, came out of the water and launched it. He was in scuba gear. Right. So yeah, there's Nancy. Oh, that's a cracker. Yeah, that's not a plane apparently. It's not a plane. You tell me. It's not a plane, but it's exactly the same as the Cessna Citation. Which would probably fly into Teterboro, which is one of the kind of private airports in New Jersey. Oh, right. And, of large UAP flashing red and green lights hovering very low over neighbours' rooftops and going to and fro. What we normally call that in the real world is a helicopter. So, yeah, that's New Jersey and highlighted, and that's the air traffic that normally flies over New Jersey. So you're never really not seeing a plane in New Jersey. But I think tonight it's getting cloudy in New Jersey. So we probably won't see any drones tonight because it's going to be cloudy and people won't be able to misidentify airplanes for drones. And Mick West, who's a bit of a debunker. I mean, I think he's worse than me, you know. But he's quite right here because every video I've seen of people using a phone to film something, have they got some kind of palsy? You know, it's like, can you not hold a phone still? Is there can you not use two hands? Hold it landscape? Maybe get something else in the shot to give us some kind of context, you know, whether it's far away or small, you know, like the Father Ted thing. These are small, those cows are far away, you know. But no. All you get is a blurry picture, zoomed in, out of focus, of a bunch of lights flashing. Mysterious drones continue to be spotted in New Jersey. That's a plane. That one's a plane. It's so obvious. They're just so bad. Oh, they really are bad. This is huge, but the size of a two-story house in the sky. Well, I don't know how, because you can't see anything. It looks like a plane at distance, and somebody's put it on extreme zoom, which I think is a joke. Here we go. Here's another one. And I'm pretty sure that one's a plane as well. That one even sounds like a plane. Or what one's that? Is that the helicopter? I don't know. But anyway. So there's maybe a chance that there's actually been some drones around, you know? But I don't think there's been that many. I think what's happened is people are now misidentifying drones as or aircraft as drones because they want to be in on it. You know, it's like I don't know what it is about the American psyche, but they really want to be in on it. In fact, I can't even say the American psyche because the same thing did kind of happen here. You know, they went nuts around Mildenhall about drones and car-sized drones, SUV-sized drones, and whatever. But anyway, let's look at this. Let's look at this company, Overwatch, right? So I found this bunch, and I don't like them. Right? I know that's not terribly subjective. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew, for that comment. It's difficult to be objective in that kind of situation, mate. Right, let's have a look at this. Okay, yes, so this is Overwatch. This is the company called Overwatch. And they make, they're what would you call it? I think they're, right, look at this guy. See this dude here? Can you see him? The guy with the dark blue t-shirt. He screams ex-military, doesn't he? Screams it. I was a colonel in the guards, you know what? He just screams ex-military. And these guys make precision targeted weapons. They don't call them that. They call them energetics, but we know what they mean, right? These are weapons. They're targeted weapons. So they make that, and they have. There's that drone again. That funny drone, the one with the folding wings. So that is an American company called Tero Systems or something. So this company, Overwatch, seems to have appeared in about 2018 or something like that. And this guy, I don't know if he's a director or not, or one of them is, but the guy that's the main man seems to be a guy called, believe it or not, Andrew George Michael. You can't make this up, can you? Andrew George Michael, yeah. Andrew Ridgely, George Michael. No, anyway, so that appears to be his name. He was born in 1983 in November, right? And he's been the director of something like 29 different companies. This guy's been through a lot. And they seem to pop up and disappear, pop up and disappear, pop up and disappear. So it's quite interesting. But this let's have a look. Let's have a look at Company's House. So find company information. Overwatch start. So let's have a look at Company's House. Overwatch. Oh, I missed it. Overwatch. Right, here we go. Overwatch Limited. So quite a few different companies. So we've got Overwatch Limited of Hazara House. Is G Associates. Hazara House, 502-504 Dudley Road, Wolverhampton. Now I think this is like a registered office type thing, you know. It's probably more than one company. In fact, it was almost certainly more than one company. So we've got Overwatch Limited. Then we've got Overwatch Limited that was dissolved on the 6th of February 2024. Whereas this one was incorporated on the 1st of February 2024. They're different companies. Okay? Same name, different company numbers. Are they? Yeah. 3436. So 154-59734, 143-74236. So different company numbers, same name. That one's in Chippenham, England. There's another Overwatch Limited, another different number. Ambleside Gardens, South Croydon. Overwatch Aerospace. Now, Overwatch Aerospace is connected to Overwatch Limited, right? And we'll show you that in a second. There was quite a few Overwatch Energy and Technology, Overwatch Industries. That was dissolved in February 24 as well. Overwatch Intelligence Limited. That was dissolved in February 2024. Overwatch Intelligence Limited was incorporated on the 5th of January 2024. Why do I need dark? Would dark mode help you? You shouldn't be using dark mode during the day. I know it's night now, but when I did this, it was during the day. So, see the things I do for you guys. Where's dark mode settings? Some websites won't go into dark mode though, do they? Where is it? It's the browser's set for dark mode, mate. Yeah, you can see. You can see it's set for dark mode. Some websites don't do dark mode. Right. Anyway, let's click on Overwatch Limited. So Overwatch Limited, Hazara House, G Associates, right? Private limited company, incorporated 1st February 2024. There won't be any filing history. That was silly. Let's go back. People. Right. 2 officers, 0 resignations. Dr. James Michael Wells, and Andrew George Michael. So Andrew George Michael is the director. The other guy was the secretary, so he's just an accountant probably. So that's Overwatch Limited. Company status is active. What does it do? What does this company do? Very little by the looks of things. Nature of business, a non-trading company. So that's a holding company for other companies. So what we do is, we'll go back to Michael Andrew George and see where else he's a director, shall we? Let's have a look. Just search for him. Right. So, Andrew George Michael. Right. So, total number of appointments 8 for this guy, 1 for this guy, 11 for this guy, and this is our man as well, because that's Hazara House. That's the same place. November 83, November 83. These first 3 are all our same guy. Then we've got George Michael. So Andrew George Michael with 11 appointments. 29 appointments, right? 29 different companies. Strategic Atlantic Technologies, Energetics Limited, DGM Global, Overwatch Aerospace Limited. That's the one we want. Overwatch Aerospace Limited, registered office address, Hazara House, Wolverhampton. Now, they don't work out of there, they work out of Cheltenham, apparently. That's where their main headquarters is. Now, these ones have a business. So these ones manufacture of air and spacecraft and related machinery, other engineering activities, and other research and experimental development of natural sciences and engineering. So the people involved with Overwatch Aerospace is this Dr. James Wells again, who's the secretary, so just ignore him. Andrew George Michael, Richard Kevin Smith. And Richard Kevin Smith is an interesting one. Richard Kevin, let me just check my, let's have a look. Where are we? Let's have a look. Here we are. Right. Richard Kevin Smith is a co-director of Overwatch Aerospace Limited, a British company based in Wolverhampton, West Midlands. Born in December 1960, making him currently 64, I would say. British nationality, lives in England, appointed as the director on October 25th, 2022, serves alongside Andrew George Michael as co-director. He's a chartered engineer, background in innovation, sensing tech and manufacturing, has 10 patents to his name, worked for Shell for 10 years. experience in developing sensing strategies for big data, worked as a crew in the early stages of SMEs, holds a mechanical engineering degree from Bristol, has an MBA from Henley Business School. He holds directorships in other companies, Overworks Limited, which is again tied into Overwatch. He's a director of Smithsling Limited. So he brings significant engineering and operational experience to his role at Overwatch Aerospace. He's the guy that's doing the mechanical stuff. The other guy is he's the arms dealer, I think. Well, sorry, did I say that? No, I never said that. Right. So there we go. Let's go back to Company's House and we can have a quick look at. So we see all these companies, right? So if we go to and we go back to what do I want to see? Overwatch Aerospace. Yeah, let's go back to Overwatch Aerospace. People, 5 officers, 2 resignations. Ponsonby and Gareth Vaughan, they've both resigned. Persons with significant control. Here we are. 1 active person with significant control. Not a person, it's a company. Overworks Limited has control over Overwatch Aerospace Limited. And who was the director of Overworks? Andrew George Michael and Richard Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, isn't he a director? These names just... Does this not sound like a freaking MI5 operation or something? I mean, these names are just... All the names are like... I mean, did you see the other guys' other names? Vaughan, Ponsonby, you know. But what's going on here? It's just weird. It just screams... It's like a spook operation, isn't it? Or is that just me? Am I being too conspiratorial? But yeah. So if we go back, let's come out of here and let's have a look at where is it? This bunch. So the Dynamics. They're the guys that have invented these drones. You see the size of the thing? They're obviously on a military ship here, right? They've been showing them off. So Dynamics have invented these things with these folding wings. So once they take off and fly, and I'm not going to play the video, but I'll show you if we cut a bit where it's flying. Oh no, maybe it's not. They're quite big, you know, that, and this is a small one. This is a PT4. Oh, there it goes. Right. So they can take off vertically, but once they're flying, they look like planes. There you go. There. It looks like a bomber, doesn't it? So once they're flying, they look like planes. So I think these things were used in England, certainly over Lakenheath and Mildenhall, because these guys did the first test in September of this year for the government somewhere in England, right? And I think the government stroke military have obviously been interested in this because they're talking about up to like a 350 kilo payload for the bigger version with a 10-hour loiter time. So 10 hours, I think, can stay up there. A range of 1,000 nautical miles. That's a good range. 1,000 nautical miles gets you to what? Germany? You get to Berlin with that, wouldn't you? So, interesting. Yeah. This is an American company. Is Overwatch showing off what they've shown off already in England to the Americans. And if they put a couple up, they've been seen. And now we have the full-blown drone panic because everybody's seen drones everywhere now. You tell me. But I think there's a lot to be learned here from these people, because when you look through Company's House, they don't. It doesn't ring true. It just doesn't ring true the way it's all set up. Especially with same name companies dissolving and being recreated, within the same month. So yeah, 1,000 miles. They're not electric. Not electric, Matthew. They're on a generator. So they have like a gasoline or diesel or whatever. They have some kind of fuel powered generator. So they carry a fuel powered generator that provides the electric to provide the power. So they're not. This isn't battery tech. These things are going to sound like, they're probably going to sound a bit like a propeller driven aircraft, because they're running a small, tiny engine, basically. So, yeah. So I think these things have been involved. I really do. Exceptional fixed wing capabilities, speed, range and endurance, low drag. Unused propellers can be feathered and folded. So if they feather and fold, like for instance, they've got the two outer ones here feathered and folded, so they're not providing any drag because they're in plane mode. So you're getting lift off the wings. You're increasing your range and reducing your consumption. Quite interesting. Now they're also AI controlled as well. They can be set up to do autonomous missions, so you just program it in, tell it what to do, and away it goes and does it, and then comes back. This is we're nearly there. Skynet, Why is a great question, Matthew. Why? Well, look what it's done, right? People are up in arms about it. And everybody's pointing at Musk and Trump to provide the answers, not to the current government. And of course, the current government is just fueling the fires, aren't they? Because coming up to Christmas, they're just fueling the fires. So maybe they're just maybe they wanted a demo and they saw what happened at Lakenheath and thought that fired up the population down there. Let's try it up here and see how it goes. And again, is it a test against because you've got that Aegis system basically in New Jersey, the early warning thing, the ground-based one. Is that a test against that? I don't know, but yeah, I think I've no doubt that this is a military stroke 3-letter organisation exercise. I'm pretty sure the government knows about it, and I think they're just blatantly lying to you. Because apparently Congress is to get a closed briefing tomorrow on it. So if they get a closed briefing, then the government knows about it. They're not telling them it's aliens. They're going to say, look, a company's been doing a trial for us, so they're not technically Department of Defence vehicles. They don't belong to us. But a company has been doing a trial so as we could see what they were like and to see the loiter times and stuff. So it could be that. So that's what could come out. I don't know. And the problem is, I'm not going to sit here and say I know what's going on, and I was quite obvious, I think, in my Twitter statements. I said I don't know what's going on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I've been digging into and possibilities that I think this company Overwatch are involved in this. I really do. It's just too convenient. They appeared this year again with this aerospace company. They did their first demo flights of these planes in September this year in England. Overwatch have got exclusive contracts to supply Saudi Arabia. It's just, I find it suspicious, very suspicious. It's not aliens. But if you're looking for aliens for Christmas, I think probably like snow, you're going to be disappointed. But overall, why? Who knows why the government do things in some respects? Because you do have, especially in America, you do have, a kind of deep state government. You really do, because you've got levels of military that won't tell other areas of military what's going on. Look at for instance, Elizondo, who said he was the director of ATIP, and the Pentagon said no, he never was. He had nothing to do with ATIP. And people, you say this, and people come on and call you. I mean, you go on your YouTube channel and call you a liar, saying Elizondo was the director of ATIP because he went to Congress and said he was. But people lie all the time in court. And nobody's pulling him up for it because nobody's interested whether he's the director or not, really. Apart from stupid people that want to, that have this cult of celebrity. I don't know what it is about them. They hang on to these people as if they're like special, and they're not. I mean, Elizondo's just a lying little grifter. That's all he is. He was never a director of ATIP. And the next video I'm going to do is about OSAP, which is the precursor to ATIP, or what ATIP's nickname for OSAP was. Because ATIP wasn't a separate program. It was part of OSAP. And OSAP was fucking wild ride. That was ripping the piss out the American taxpayer left, right and centre. That's what that was. And Harry Reid, even though he's dead, has a lot to answer for, because he wasted a shitload of public money and public time investigating things that shouldn't have been done on the public purse. Having fun, I think, with his pals. And one of those pals was Bigelow. So yeah, I mean, they don't have a clue. Elizondo sat in an office for what, 5 years after OSAP wound up in 2012? Yeah, he sat there till 2017 saying he was the director of ATIP. ATIP was here in his tiny little head because it had no funding, it had no official status, it didn't have any staff, it didn't exist, it didn't even have a phone number. So ATIP, he was the director of ATIP. If you think that I'm the director of the Shadow UFO investigation team, if it's in your head, you could be the director of anything, can't you? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I think that's where we are. A doodle bug for the modern era. Yeah. So there we go, guys. I don't think I've got much. Any questions? No, I don't think I've much else to ask. The espresso mechanic's right here. He says people who follow UFO want these things to be alien spacecraft. Absolutely, they do. Matthew Williams, I'm not quite sure who that is, but was saying they could be alien. He should know better. I mean, we live in a void, right? We live in the KBC void, which has 20% less planets and stars and matter than the surrounding areas, right? So we're already down on density when it comes to looking for other planets that are inhabited by other civilizations. And then once you factor in the distance, it's the distances involved are. People just don't understand the distances involved. It just takes so long to get anywhere. What was that I worked out? And if you took one of Musk's starships and tried to go to Alpha or Proxima Centauri, 800,000 years? Because you can't get anywhere near a fraction of the speed of light in that thing. You can't get anywhere near any kind of decent speed. 800,000 years in a tin can? And people aren't going to be people when they're finished. They really aren't. Is that Dreadeye or Julie that's on? How'd you get an EGR valve out? I've unbolted it. The bloody thing is tight. On my Peugeot. I've been working it to try and get it out. But if you have any hints or tips, I've been moving it back and forwards, but it's got to come up, and there's hardly any space to get underneath it. So if you've got any tips, DM me. So yeah, there we go. Matthew, that's my most favoured. If you're going to come up with anything, that's my most favoured approach. I'm with you on that, right? And people probably won't like it, but I don't think people are coming here in spacecraft from other planets. I don't think there's any intergalactic federation. I don't think anyone's found anyone else anywhere in the universe, because the distances are just so vast. But I think there could be something. And the thing you've got to remember is these things in the sky, these odd things that people see in the sky, happened before we had man-powered flight, before we had our own planes, even before we had balloons. They used to talk about, strange ships in the sky, and you would describe it as a ship if you had never seen an aircraft, wouldn't you? There's a boat in the sky, So yeah, there might be something along those lines. As I said, I don't think they come from different planets. If anything, they're coming from within, or from. The dimensional thing's tricky though, because I don't want to get down the Ashton Forbes route. I don't want to sound like a complete nutter, because physics as we understand it, and that could well be wrong, right? Could well be wrong. And let's face it, when it comes to science, we have a long history of thinking that we're at the cutting edge and then finding out that we're nowhere near it. But physics generally hasn't really changed much in the last 100 years, which is quite disappointing if we're not right. Do you know what I mean? Because if we're not right and it hasn't changed much in 100 years, what the hell are we doing? I think it's, what do you call it, a DV6C Dreadeye, I think. Like a Peugeot 3008 or 307, or it's a 1.6 HDI diesel. It's the one that doesn't have the clamp on it though. It's the one that just goes into the hole with the O-ring round it, and the valve turns, and getting it out of that. I've taken everything off the car to get to it that I had to, and I've got the bolts out because it's only held down with 2 bolts. But I've been trying to work it loose, but it's a nightmare. Anyway. So back to the dimensional thing. So if physics is right, then the amount of energy required to do these transitions would be immense. And, you get, and this is the part about Ashton Forbes that really pisses me off, because he goes on about 0 point energy and how easy it would be. He doesn't have a fucking clue, right? Because, if you take energy from the quantum field, if it exists, right, it seems to be the more you take, the quicker you have to pay it back. So you can't just take and not give it back. It has to go back. So what's the purpose? How are you going to use it? You can't use it to go and open a portal because you've got to pay the energy back. You've got to generate your own energy. You can't just steal from 0 point. Or that's how I understand it. I may be wrong. Any physicists out there want to come on and put me right? Yeah, come ahead. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm genuinely interested to know because as I understand it, you take energy out of the quantum field, you've got to pay it back. The more you take out, the quicker you've got to pay it back. It's like taking a bank loan. If you take a £1,000 bank loan, they'll let you pay it over a year. But if you take a £10,000 bank loan, they want you to, and they want the, in this case, they'd want you to pay it back over a couple of weeks, you know? So it's like that. So I don't know. I don't know where you would get the energy to do these transitions. That's the problem. Because it's not in consequential amounts. We're talking, I mean, you talk about, you know, if you talk about something like an Alcubierre engine, you know, where you're going to try and get to a percentage of the speed of light, whether it's even like 0.7% or anything. Yeah, carbon holding it in, I think so. Anyway, as you're trying to get near the speed of light, you got to generate a field. With what? Because if you're starting to need energy levels that are comparable to a sun, so where do you generate this energy from? And if you hit something once you're doing a fraction of the speed of light, you're mince. So you've got to generate some kind of bubble that's going to protect you from all the crap that's in space. Because as I've already said, space isn't empty. It's far from it. Empty space is not empty. It's full of dust. If you hit dust doing a fraction, even just a fraction of the speed of light, you're going to be mince. Because the amount of energy that's going to be imparted into your vehicle when that dust particle hits is, you know, a ridiculous amount. Because of the speeds. It's a struggle. And this is the problem when you know, you get to the point, and I'm not being Dunning-Krugerish here, you get to the point where you start to know a little bit about what's required. And everything gets so much harder, so much more involved, so much more complicated, that you get to the point we're never gonna get to the stars. Because the barriers seem to be insurmountable from a technological point of view, from an energy point of view, and more importantly, from a biological point of view. Because Musk is on about going to Mars. But look what happens to people in low Earth orbit when they're up there for a year. What kind of state are they going to be in if they've been to Mars, where you're out with the planet's gravitational electromagnetic field? You're getting hit by all the freaking radiation out there, both cosmic and solar. You get hit by a solar flare, you're going to get cooked like in a microwave. So you get hit by all that radiation. You're probably blind because there seems to be permanent and disfiguring changes to your eyes that are caused by low gravity. Your cardiovascular system is going to be running at 30% of what it was on Earth. Your lymphatic system doesn't drain properly because there's no gravity, so you've got fluid sloshing about in places it shouldn't be. Your skeletal system is losing mass about 1% a month. I mean, really, you get to Mars, you're not going to be fit to do anything. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And the problem is, the problem you talk about, you know how you do the spinning thing to create artificial gravity? That doesn't work either because you end up with the Coriolis effect. And your body just doesn't like it. You're just going to end up being sick for you're going to be sick for the whole journey. It's not something you're going to get used to either, because you see them trying to demonstrate it when they're spinning, and you pour water and it goes it goes like that. Your body can't cope with that. So it's just a mess. It's just a complete and utter mess. What are you going to do? So, yeah, that's the problem with you. It really is. Energy. Unless it's truly supernatural, in which case we're now into the paranormal, and then we're moving away from traditional physics and science, and that might be a solution to these questions. It could be we're looking in the wrong place. You know, it might not be a physical thing. I mean, I made a couple of tweets today, half in jest but half seriousness. Why is no one that experiences abduction ever put CCTV in their bedroom? You know, why? If I mean, I was watching that thing last night, the alien invasion, Hudson Valley, right? And all these people, they found people up there that claim they've been getting abducted sometimes twice a week for 40 years. Why would you never set a camera up just to see if it was actually happening? Because I suspect if you did, you would find that you were lying in your bed all night and you were having a bad dream. Because some of the experiences that they said, I had dreams like that as a kid. But yeah, I just don't. I mean, it was quite funny. I mean, they were filming stuff with night vision cameras or infrared cameras that were insects. They were insects. You could see they were insects flying across the camera and calling them orbs. It's just, I was laughing. I was sitting here laughing, and I'm thinking, I should be filming this. I should be filming my reaction to this because it was funny. But I don't know. If you want to believe in it, it's not funny, I guess. But I want to believe, but I need some evidence. That's the problem. And I'm not getting it. I'm not getting evidence. What I'm getting is besieged by a bunch of grifters, like Fox and Elizondo and Corbell. I mean, that guy, Ross Coulthard, what a tool he is. He's just an arsehole. Guy doesn't have a Scooby. Alien autopsy video, yeah, I know. What's the name not do one? Why am I thinking Ant and Dec did one? Or was it just they're the same size as an alien? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Stephen Greer. Stephen Greer's an odd one, isn't he? I mean, it's like, right. So let's just take a step back. Let's take a step back. Let's think about it. An ER doctor, right, who researches UFOs in his spare time and turns it into a career, basically, right, knows more about aliens than anyone else in the government or on the planet, and gets to brief the president. And now he's a retired ER doctor. He's still doing this. He's still briefing the president. He's briefing the incoming president on aliens. Guy's got no clearance. He's not cleared for anything. He's not a member of an organisation. So how would he know anything? I can tell you how he knows anything because he makes it up in his tiny little head. And he goes on about he's got 700 witnesses, but not one of those witnesses are named or come forward. It's like the 23 witnesses that saw Lindo and Napolitano being taken out of her closed 12th floor apartment and levitated up into a parked spaceship while she was being abducted. But of those 23 witnesses, how many came forward? None. Nada. None. Yeah. I mean, that's all we need. A couple of witnesses. A couple of genuine witnesses with some proper footage. But no. So for this to be happening and nobody to have any evidence, it's not on. I mean, that alien abduction thing I was watching the other night, or last night, this guy said there was he took something that was the size of 2 thumbs out of his nose. The doctor said, if that's a nasal polyp, it's the biggest one I've ever seen. Well, where is it? What happened to it? Was it examined? Did anyone have a look at it? Boom. That was it. That was it. No. Nobody bothers. So, if you've got evidence, then keep it. Or document it. Or get it examined and verified. But no, they don't do it. Crazy. It's crazy. It really is. It's just like, if there's evidence, show me it. You know, if there's aliens coming here, you got to question why haven't they parked themselves in the White House lawn? You know, what have they got to fear? If their tech isn't good enough to overcome what we've got, then they've never got here. As simple as that. Because they didn't get here with their level of tech. So they've nothing to fear from us. Damien Hirst, I don't know who Damien Hirst is, has it in a jar of formaldehyde. Has he had it examined? Are we talking about the nasal polyp or something? Is this the same thing I was watching last night? I don't know, Espresso. Oh, Weird Artist, right, okay. All right, yeah, I know who you mean now. He's the guy that cut the cow in half, isn't he? With a chainsaw. I think he froze it first though, so it didn't make a mess. Oh, God. Right, okay. I hope you've enjoyed this little rant or little poke around. I think that's a company to watch out for. I think I'm going to keep my eye on them and see what's going on. I don't have a lot of background in this Andrew George Michael guy. He seems to have appeared around about 2011, which would only made him 30 something. So that's probably him coming out of the army. I think he's been an officer in the army. He just looks like that. You know, if he joined the army at say 21, went to university, did his degree, went into the army, 9 years in the army, comes out at 30. Yeah. Yeah. I think that could be that guy. I think and then he's either working for himself genuinely or he's a spook. Yeah. Yeah. I'll do some digging. I'll do some more digging and see if I can find out some more about him. But yeah, strange. Too many companies. Too many companies folding and then creating. Just weird. Right. So thank you all very much. I shall see you again. Take care. Night all.